Hello and welcome to Stylish Chats with Creatives. Today on the podcast, I've got Jen Spence. Jen is a producer and actually has her own production company, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Good, yay. Hello, my love. How are you getting on? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been busy. It's been a blessing of being busy. But yeah, it's all good. It's calmed down a bit now. I've gone a bit like quieter now, which is good. But it's just been a whirlwind since going freelance in May. I'm so new still. I'm such a newbie compared to everyone. Still a little
Yeah,
fish.
that's really new. That's really new. So we met on Instagram.
Yeah.
We've only ever met really. And I feel like I found you through somebody else. I can't remember who on our social circles somewhere.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but they sent me the picture of you with that LED glow mask.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I need to know who this icon is right this minute because this is the best. And here we are.
That bloody mask. I was literally on set with another with a photographer, and I was like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I'm lucky if I put moisturizer on in the morning, let alone do these LED glow mask things. And I was like, what is this? And then he's like caught me and he was like, just hold it there. I'm like holding it to my face, like, what the fuck is this doing to my face?
So good. Yeah, I literally saw that picture and I was like, I need to know who this person is because that's a whole mood, like a whole mood on set. It was brilliant.
Welcome to my slightly crazy world.
Yes. It's when you sit there. I was in the stylist today on set and she was like on a crouched down in front of a water tank and she was just a pause, her hands were like little paws in the tank and she was just whacking the water and she was like, is this really my job? Like, is this my life? It's so ridiculous. And I was like, the things that we do, are you here on set? It's just stupid that it's real life.
Yeah, our jobs are so bizarre. Like the amount of times someone's rung me an insurance company and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm on set with a lingerie model. Like, can you ring me back? Because this is just not a convenient time. And they're like, what? Bye.
Yeah, just like, okay. Yeah, no one understands it, do they? And you try and explain the thing. No. And there's so many Instagram accounts that are overheard out of context on set. And it's just brilliant. It's just, people wouldn't know it's just such an obscure scenario that I think people with normal jobs wouldn't quite know what to do with the things we end up doing.
Yeah. Brilliant. Silly things putting a toilet roll, a full toilet roll around the back of someone's pants to make it look more flush on the front. It's a completely normal thing to do in the model world when you're model styling. But when I've told my mum that, she's like, what?
Yeah. It's a good trick. I actually saw someone do that trick this week and I was literally blown away. So it truly is a trick of the trade. And it's when people say don't ever eat anything off a food shoe, and just never trust anything that's come off a food shoot, basically, because there's so many tricks of the trade. PVA glue, blue roll is the godsend. Everything.
Yeah, and gone off meat more often than not.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just general food poisoning is probably why you don't eat anything off a food set. But yeah, there's just ridiculous funny little tricks that you learn. It's great.
Yeah,
brilliant,
massively. So where did you come from? How did you get into production? So you've only been freelance for not even a year.
Yeah,
that's amazing considering you've now got your own office. This is insane.
It's crazy. I'm an Aries. I don't do anything by halves. It's fire and fury. It's all or nothing. So here we are, all or nothing down the line. But I literally fell into production, which I think a lot of people do. So I was originally working in content for sports brands. So I was writing content for blogs. And within that, we had kind of little studio shoots. And I remember in my first job when it was writing content, there was 2 photographers and they literally used to shoot all the content in effectively a cupboard. And we used to go in there and do all the flat lays. And then I ended up actually going into product marketing in a baby wear brand. And they went through a lot of kind of redundancies and change. And part of my role was to manage, obviously, the photo shoots from a product perspective. But due to the redundancies, which was very sad for a lot of people in the business, I ended up then managing their shoots more so abroad and in the studio as well. So I kind of just fell into it. But it's so weird because when I look all the way back to when I first did work experience at uni, I did fashion and branding at Leeds College of Art. My placement was at, everyone remember it, the classic, the Lads Mag front magazine, and I was like a picture intern. And I remember my job then was, within that 2 weeks I was there, was to help them plan like a photo shoot for one of their covers. So we went and did like location recce's, I went and did prop collecting and styling, we went and did prop pulls with like vans and stuff. And it was great, and it's just really weird that it's gone completely. It was always kind of maybe in the line, but I didn't realize. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a bit a happy accident, basically, I think, along the way.
Yeah, it's good. I like to see the pictures of your office. When did you open that? Like a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, I moved in on the 2nd of February, and it's great. I just want to live there all the time. It's nicer than my house. Just want to just live there. It's great. It's really good as well because it's just nice to be in a communal space. And I think one of my best friends said to me, she was like, it's the comfort of strangers. Like working at home didn't really work for me because I'm always used to being in a studio space. I'm always used to being around people. So it's like, she's like, it's the comfort of strangers, of just people being around. You don't necessarily speak to them, but it's just that the noise.
Yeah.
And I keep leaving like my door open, and people walk past and they're like, I've got like a diffuser. I'm like, oh, it smells nice in your studio. And other people have started leaving their doors open, and I've got diffusers. So we're starting a movement. So it's
Oh,
going
nice,
good.
nice.
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, it's wicked. So good.
Yeah, it looks really good, and your branding looks really good as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Gemma did that for me. She's a dream. She's just the best. So it was such a good investment because I had existing branding already, that I loved. I wasn't tired of it. I loved it, and I wanted to keep it. And I originally said, can you just kind of like build on what we've already got? And then I just thought, you know what, let's just do it. And it was the best decision I ever made. And we did a few different iterations of it, and we arrived at that one. But yeah, I love it. I just have it everywhere. I'm like walking around with a little tote bag with my logo on. It's on my phone case. I'm like getting my money's worth out of this branding
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's wicked. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think it's needed. Like, I've got like my stylich thing, and then I actually need to add more leopard print because majority of the time I'm in leopard print.
Yeah.
And I was at a new studio the other week, and I wore like leopard print dungarees, and then the next day wore like leopard print cycling shorts or something. And one of the girls was like, the third day I went in, I was just in like jeans and a hoodie, and she was like, "Where's your leopard print? Where's your signature leopard print?" And I'm
Need
like,
it.
I need it now. This is it. I've made a rod for my own back.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's so important, and it really brings like everything to life, and I think it gives you something to like anchor onto as well. And also
Yeah.
it's so great just having even like just like your little logos and stuff, because it just gives you something. I don't know, you just feel really proud, I think, don't you, when you kind of got it all? You feel like you're like legit. You're like, yeah, I can, have this on my invoices and on like creative decks and stuff. And I think it really does like showcase who you are and your personality. So definitely need some more leopard print in your life, I think, on all your branding
Yeah.
bits. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I need to like put some leopard print stickers on my kit bag and everything, and just go for it, go wild.
And sticker
Yeah,
swaps.
100%.
Sticker swaps with
Yes.
everyone. Yeah. So
Oh,
good.
God. Like when we went to Leeds Tattoo Fest, like me and my husband both have got loads of tattoos. We went to Leeds Tattoo Fest for like the first time last year, and both got tattooed, and then got this little sticker that says like it's a little crying baby, and it was like, I was brave at Leeds Tattoo Fest. And Nath got it from this little girl was like handing them out whilst he was getting tattooed. And my husband's like 6'3", skinhead, heavily tattooed, really like soft, gentle guy, but he looks a bit hard.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, thanks so much." It's that little girl.
Just made it with his sticker. I love that.
Yeah.
See, stickers bringing people together. The great love stickers.
Yeah, me too. I've got them all over, like all the tattoo ones are all over my kit bag. I just think like, again, the same as your branding, it brings a bit of your personality to you. And then people go like, "Oh yeah, that's the person who's loves leopard print," or "That's Jen who's got loads of lilac and the like rainbow type shapes and stuff you've got." It looks really good.
Definitely. Even my clients now, when they show me like their mood boards, they're like, "Don't worry, put some lilac in for you." Like, oh, thank you. Thanks for considering my website at the end of your actual creative campaign. Love that for me. Thank you. Great. Just always lilac.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it your favourite colour? Is that why you went for it?
No, it's so strange because I never used to really have any colour at all. And then I started getting my nails painted because I was like, right, maybe I should be like, you know, a professional, get my nails like gel painted. And I started wearing like loads of lime green nail polish. So we tried that at first, but I was like too much, too bright. And then yeah, we just found purple. I think it's because I've got a lilac puffer jacket. So at the minute it's just the favourite colour. So we're just vibing with it. Just
Why
lilac and
not?
checkerboard.
Yeah, it's the whole package. There you go. That's what it
Definitely,
is.
yeah, definitely.
What are you finding hardest about being freelance?
I am finding imposter syndrome the hardest. I am finding, I don't know, because people are always like, oh, you're always busy. Like, you need to be careful not to take on too much. But I like to be busy. So that's actually working for me. But yeah, it's the imposter syndrome where, like, I won a pitch against like 3 other agencies recently for a brand like Restage project. And I like won it and I was like, I'd done all my pitch and I was really like energized and I did it. And then when I won it, I was like, oh my God, I've got to do it. I can't do this. I was like, I can't do it. And I was just messaging like one of my friends, she's a stylist, and I was like, I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. And she was like, it's just imposter syndrome. Like, you really can do it. Like, break it down. Another one of my best friends was like, break it down. Like, what is it? Oh, it's, I don't know, a lifestyle shoot. Like, tick, you can do that. But yeah, I think a lot of creative people struggle with imposter syndrome. I think just because our brains work so differently because we're constantly like striving and we want to be the best we can be and really keep it creative. And I think it really can get me sometimes, the imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
Really
I
can.
think it gets us all. Like when I walked into that new studio last week, they put me on like week before, put me on like a bedding set. And I've done hundreds of bedding sets
Yeah.
before, like room sets. And I texted my mum and I was like, oh God, mum, I met a new client. What if I can't do it? And she's like, you've been doing it for years. And her
Yeah.
actual saying was like, head up and tits out. And then my sister was like, please don't get your tits out on the first day at the new job. I was like,
Imagine.
yeah,
You would
nobody
never be
needs to see
back.
that. Yeah. No
Not
one
that
needs to
type
see
of
that on a
show.
Monday morning.
Yeah, no, it gets us all, doesn't it? And I think we psych ourselves out because we mill on it and we're like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And you find you nitpicking and you start to just panic. Um, and yeah, I think it can really, really wipe you. And I think everyone gets spits and spats where you just kind of go into a hole with it and then you come back out when you're fine. But yeah, it's just a creative mindset, isn't it? It's just knowing
Yeah.
that you're not the only one that gets that. Everyone gets it, especially in this kind of like line of work as well.
Yeah, especially when you're freelance as well, because you're like, I always think like if I'm a bit quiet, I'm like, oh God, did I like forget to put antiperspirant on that day the last time I
Yeah.
was in the studio? Did I chat too much? Which I do chat a lot. Or like, is it something like, but actually it's everybody's a bit quiet because it's the season of stuff just being a bit quiet. Like
Yeah,
it's no
exactly.
biggie. But yeah, you do get it. And I've been freelance for a long time, like over a decade, and I still get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I can go in and dress a mannequin, do still life stuff, do model, but I just don't do it as much anymore. But like I can do it with my eyes shut. But you still have that day where you're like, oh, can I do it today?
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? It just sneaks up on you out of nowhere. And it can really like knock you, I think. And I think sometimes it's when you haven't done something for a while as well. You do like kind of,
Yeah.
you're like, oh God, it's been ages since I've done, like you say, like anything homeware or anything. I don't know, it could be anything like model for someone. And you just think, oh, I just don't know if I can do it. And then as soon as you're there and you're on set and you've given yourself like your little get in, kind of meet everyone if they're new, it always is fine. It's just that initial like the night before a shoot when you just don't have any sleep because it's like pre-shoot nerves and excitement. And then usually you get
Yeah.
then you're like, oh God, what was I even worried about? Like everyone's sound, the client's dead nice, the product's great, it's all gonna be fine. Like
Yeah. And I get it when I walk in somewhere and because I'm originally from down south. So when I first came up here, I was like, oh, I'm not going to know anybody. I walked into the first studio in Manchester that I started working at. I knew a stylist, a photographer, I think, a model. And I was like, oh, this is fine. I know half the stuff.
yeah. Everyone knows
You know,
everyone, don't they, as well? Especially if you've kind of worked in creative industries. I think it's everywhere, but I think it's in like cities as well. But yeah, it just immediately puts, and you just think like, what was I even worried about? Or when you get a call sheet, you know it's someone's name, you're like, yes, I've got a friend. There's one friend
Yeah.
that I know. It's all okay. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And you're like, and I think because I'm super chatty as well, I like to have a quick brew with people and be like, oh, hey, I'm Shah, like come and chat, whatever. And then I have to like stop myself because I'm like, these people still need to work.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have to actually do some work. We're not just having like a coffee morning, but I know it's
Yeah.
so nice. One of my best friends is like that. She just could speak all day, and then I'm just like, I have to go and do some work, and she's like still speaking to me as I'm walking away. And I'm just, but it's great because you need people like that on set because it's just like such like a joy to be around people that just, and you make people feel at ease by being chatty. I think as well, especially
Yeah.
when you work in like props or wardrobe or makeup. You're such an integral part where you're going to have to constantly be speaking to people or constantly speaking to talent that I've had like talent come and they've just been kind of unsettled for some reason or nervous. And then because like the wardrobe stylist is just super chatty or the makeup artist is just a dream, it really brings people out of the shell. And then by the time they get to us on set,
Yeah.
all of that like fear's gone from them. So it's definitely a great thing when people are kind of chit chatty with a brew, but also do
Yeah.
work because I'm there to be like, you need to do the work. Time checking.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Like it's a delicate balance. Like me and a friend, we used to work together at a place in Leicester, and they used to put us together because we could work and talk at the same time, but we didn't shut up for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
But we're like still like doing our mannequin and doing all our work. And people
Yeah.
are like, how are you guys still talking? Have you still got stuff to talk about? And I recently did a shoot with him for like 3 days and we didn't shut up for 3 days. And his partner went like, are you not out of words?
Yeah, like have you run out of stories yet? Like
Yeah.
why
Like,
is your voice still working?
yeah. Yeah.
Just constantly
100%.
speak. No, I love that.
100%.
It's just great when it's the vibe like that on set, isn't it? Oh, it's just the best
Yeah.
when you have a good vibe on set, like when you've just like had the sickest day ever and everyone's been in such good spirits and like the tunes have been on and everyone's like in such a good mood and it's been like so energized. It's just mega, isn't it? Those set days. You
Yeah.
just like my job is the best job ever. You finish it and you're just like it's just the best job ever. Best.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you finding juggling everything and your own time and stuff now as well? Because obviously it's different, isn't it, when you're freelance and when you're in-house
Yeah.
producing?
So when I was in house, I was always like hectically busy. So like I always loved to be busy. We always just were busy. There was always a lot of jobs coming in. And it was just crazy, crazy fun. And stressful at times. But then being freelance, I've kind of got into that. I was speaking to someone else, actually, one of my friends the other day, and I was like, it's kind of just us. We're kind of on that slippery slope where we're so used to going at 1,000 miles per hour that I'm still doing that because, well, to be honest though, it's like it's hard, isn't it? Because people are always like, oh, you're always busy, don't burn yourself out. Da, da, da. But it's like I always would rather work like Monday to Friday because everyone does, and I'd always rather do the work because I enjoy being busy. But I'm definitely not so good at when people have like midweek days off, but I think it's because I'd rather shoot if I can shoot. But I think my personal life balance is better because I'm in more control of that. So in general, I just feel like a bit more. I think it's just better for my mental health, to be honest. I didn't think it would be, and it's hard to describe like why, but I do think, yeah, I feel like I've got a lot more like kind of emotional balance back for the weekends and I'm not as burnt out because I think when you're working for yourself, you kind of can see where it's going and why you're doing it. And you've said, yes, I'm going to do that brief or I've pitched that brief and I've won it because you really want to do it. And I think the passion kind of underlies all of that. Whereas sometimes when you're working in brand or in an agency, it's kind of like whatever you've got to do, you've got to do. And I think you do lose that personal, unless it's kind of like a smaller agency where you can see where it's going. You can sometimes kind of lose, I don't know, your drive to do it, I think. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. People are like, you need to take more time off. But just going to keep rolling with it. Just going to keep saying yes to it. Everyone's like, just say yes to everything in your first year. So here we are. Yes
yeah, I agree actually. Like then you can kind of cherry pick back over. Like in a couple of years, you can be like, right, okay, well, I know I'm going to take this. What I will say though is make sure you take a holiday, turn your phone off.
Oh God. I'm the worst
have that
at
time.
taking the holiday. One of my old managers will remember from years and years and years ago. I used to always just have basically a whole year's worth of holiday left in December. And she'd just be like, you can't keep doing this. You can't have all of December off. And she used to have to like force me to put them in. She's like, what are you saving them for? I was like, I don't know. I'm just saving them. But why are you saving them? But yeah, I'm booked. Everyone will be pleased. Booked to go on holiday to Greece in September for 2 weeks. I'm going to Greece. No one try and book me because I can't say no. I'm a people pleaser. But yeah, we're going to Greece. So yeah, there's one in the diary. So we're getting better.
Good. Because that definitely, like the first couple of years, maybe even the first 5 years that I was freelance, I'd be like sending invoices, checking my emails while we're on holiday. I'm ever half like, are you gonna chill the fuck out or not?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just learning that work will eventually come. Whenever it does come, it will come.
Yeah.
But it's like enjoying the time that you have off, because there'll be a time when you're so busy that you're like, just want a day.
Yeah, just want to relax. And the thing is, if you've communicated with people that you're going to be off, if you're out of offices on, people know where you are. It's not like you've just vanished off the face of the earth for 14 days and no one understands. And it's all just like that pre-planning. And I think it's that making that conscious effort, like you say, to be like, I am off everyone, basically. And then you feel like you're organised then, don't you? Because you've got your end point and you know when you're going to be off. But yeah, definitely trying to, maybe that's what is it? Mid-year, quarterly year resolution, do more holidays.
Yeah. It's definitely like, it's hard to balance because you don't want to lose out on money, but you also, you know, if you're quiet anyway, you may as well go on holiday.
Yeah.
Like it swings
I think that's
around.
what it is. I think it's when you've got your quiet points, taking it, like you say, taking to actually do something, like going on holiday, just going and doing something. I don't know, going for a walk.
Yeah.
Going to get a haircut, just something in between to actually make use of that time rather than thinking, oh, I've got nothing to do, I've got no work on. You know, it's trying to fill those gaps with something like positive, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And like, I'm much better about putting my out of office and stuff on now. Like, I did it not last year, year before. When I had my operation, I took like 6 weeks off and just put them out of office for 6 weeks. The only thing I'm dealing with is like invoices that need chasing. That's it. Like, and just left it. And I think people respect your boundaries a lot more when you do that.
Yeah,
when you put them in, they're just way more respectful. And I think like that's where sometimes as freelance creatives as well, we just go, we'll take everything, and then we forget to put boundaries in and forget to say like, actually, I do need the bit of rest and recuperation to be more productive later on in the year. And like kind of putting those boundaries in helps you out in the long run, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And so many people say that you need to like rest because it'll make you better for like the next job. Like if you just keep running on empty, you're just never going to be able to recuperate, basically, ready for the next one. And I think it's always hard as well because me personally, I like love working and I love to work and I'll always work. And then when I stop working, that's when it hits me. And then I'm like, oh, I should just carried on working. But it's just all like the tiredness just obviously catches up with you when you have like a quiet time. And it always takes me a little while to get going. But I think it's like just letting myself have those like periods of, it's like mental rest, I think, for me, because it's like you're physically busy when you're doing things like, I don't know, set build, props, photography, you're like up, down, running around, everything. But it's like the mental tiredness. I always say, like, when I get home, I just want to just not speak to anyone because I feel like I'm like people's mum on set, because I'll just be there and there'll be like 10 people asking me a question and they'll be like, what size does this plinth need to be? When are we shooting that? When the sample's going to arrive? I'm just like answering each one. Then it's just like the mental rest of just needing to have that recuperation, I think, and like to build yourself back energy wise. But yeah, maybe I just need to maybe I'll just be off all next week. So sorry to any clients. Just going to go and sleep for a week.
Yeah. Like, I really admire you producers because I can't answer like 2 questions at once. I just can't do it. I can't like, objectively just be like, right, okay, you're next in my queue, a bit like when you're at the supermarket like cheese counter, like, and you've got your number.
Yeah.
Like number 26. Oh yeah, that's me. Like, I just find it so hard. I'm like, right, hold on, hun, I need to answer this first.
Yeah,
And
get
then
in the queue.
undoubtedly I go on a tangent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll always literally remember it. I was like sat at my desk, and I just had the set builder on one side, a photographer in front of me, one of like the studio assistants, and then someone else. The set builder was just ranting about something. I don't know, some paneling wasn't here or some flooring wasn't here. And I was just like answering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then someone sat opposite me was just like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, it just comes second nature, and it is just like, I don't even know how, but I think that's why when I go home, my boyfriend tries to speak to me and I'm just sat there in silence, just like that meme of Tiffany Pollard just sat on the bed with the sunnies on. Just that's literally me. Just like, doesn't speak to me. Got nothing left to give anyone. Too tired.
Oh man, yeah. I just honestly, I really admire you for being able to do it, because I just can't. But then I'm one of those people that goes, "Can I just ask you this?" And like, then undoubtedly get talking about my dog, and like producers Sophie, who's been on before, used to be like, "Shah, come on."
Yeah, like back where we were.
Yeah. Come on, back in the room.
Come back to me.
Yeah.
No, another ones. Creative friends.
Yeah, that's it. We go off on tangents all the time. It's and especially if there's a dog in the studio, I'm fucked. Like, I'm just with the dog.
Anything animal related, literally, you can't even try. Like we were on set yesterday, and one of the crew was just looking at dog pictures, and I was just like trying to speak to them about what we were doing, and they were just looking at puppy pictures. I was like, we snap out of the puppy world. We have things to do. But it's just anything little and furry, like a fluffy puppy or a kitten, and yeah, could be there all day.
Yeah, I've definitely taken my dog into studios before, and I love taking her in, but it's like taking in a toddler.
Yeah,
because then she gets like lost, and I'm like, where's she gone? And she's like rolled on her back, and the set builder's like nuzzling her tummy and stuff. I'm like, great.
You're constantly on puppy guard, like out the corner of your eye, like just waiting for it. She needs to go outside or anything, just like, where's the dog?
Yeah, so you can't actually get any work done, so it's pointless. So yeah, as much as I love her, but yeah, exactly. And she got so tired. We've got a bit more of a senior dog, so I was like running up and down to props, so she was following me everywhere. And then she sat in the car and just fell asleep within about 2 minutes.
Oh,
just like gone.
Half day's work.
Absolutely gone.
Being just cute, scurrying around everywhere.
That's it. She'd like been a princess for the day, got fed everything. Like, lost her at one point, and the food stylist has got like the biggest bag of treats for her, like probably a kilo bag.
Oh,
and she's just sat there like, oh my God, please give me more. And it's like, I can see you've had a quarter of that bloody bag.
Yeah, she's gonna be sick tonight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's my other half.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah, 2 seconds, Jen.
Sorry, Jen.
You're all right.
That was the worst drive I've ever done. I'm sorry to interrupt your pod.
Are you all right?
Yeah. There are people stuck on the hill. Shall I offer them a place to stay?
Yeah.
There was like quite a few people, but I can't offer.
If there's like a couple of like older people.
I just got back put in.
Yeah.
Like barely. I'm talking about.
Yeah, then offer them. We can put a couple of people up. Yeah, sure.
I think I should have. Was a bit weird.
No, just say we live on top of the hill. Like, do you want a hot drink or like just yeah,
okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'll go. I'll put some boots on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right. That's my other half. We live on the top of a hill, so basically he's only just got back, and he called me over an hour ago, and it's like maybe a 40-minute journey home.
Yeah.
And there's people stuck at the bottom of the hill. So he's just should I go and ask? Yeah, so he's just said, shall I just like see if they need somewhere to like stay, or like if they need a cup of tea or whatever? And I was like, yeah, just go and like wrangle them. We don't really have much space, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
them
even
in.
if they're just like wet or whatever. Oh, the snow is the worst in Yorkshire. It is the worst.
Yeah, we've only lived here since May, and we've seen some crazy weather.
Yeah,
crazy weather.
Especially when you're on the tops.
Yeah, we look over Holmfirth, so it's really beautiful. But then when it's windy or snowy or anything, it's like crazy. It doesn't do it by halves, and then it'll just be like poof, and it's back to like sunshine, like within 5 minutes. So
now it's just snow.
Now it's just snow. But like when I went out, I let the dog out earlier and it was like 3 inches, and then literally blinked and it's gone like double. So we'll see what he's how many strangers will be in my house after this.
Just see when you go downstairs.
Yeah, I'll be like, hi, there's like a whole congregation of people.
Probably. The dog will be loving it, loads of new friends.
Yeah, she'll be like throwing a manky rope around it and then just be like, hello.
Welcome to my home, guys. Come on in.
Yeah. And we're in the middle of a kitchen renovation as well. So it's like dusty and everything else. So yeah, I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do. I think he's like right to get people out of the cold anyway.
100%. Yeah, if anyone just wants to come in for a brew while I figure out what they need to do, then they'll be glad of it. It's freezing outside.
Yeah, absolutely freezing. Like I put my Crocs on to let the dog out, and we've got like a bit of a balcony, and I was like, why are my feet wet? And like I looked down and the Crocs were like absorbed into the snow.
Covered. Yeah.
I was like, oh, these are going to take ages to dry.
Yeah. The snow is rubbish, but my Crocs are now wet. So, I don't know what I'm more cross about, to be honest.
Yeah. I know we were messaging before about Crocs as well. Like, absolutely love a Croc set.
Shoot Crocs. Sophie from Yeti Creative will be loving the shoot Crocs. She loves the shoot Croc. She has loads of, what are they called? Jibbits or something.
Gibbet or something. Yeah.
So good. Love a shoot Croc or studio sliders. We love a slider as well.
Oh yeah. My mum bought me some new Birkenstocks, so like every 5 years I buy myself a new pair of Birkenstocks, and I wore them in on set the other week with like thick socks on, and the first couple of wears you wear them and you take your shoes off and then you're like, oh, my feet really hurt. Like Birkenstocks genuinely hurt for the first like 3 wears. And I was like, why am I walking like my grandma? Like, oh, and it's because I'd worn Birkos for the day.
Yeah, just crippled. But it's you've got to commit, haven't you? Because in the long run, it's going to be so good. But it's them first wears where you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know what hurts more. Like, just every part of my foot hurts, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you put them on, you're like, well, it feels like I'm barefoot. These are the dream.
Yeah, just suddenly, they're suddenly just worn in. It's like when people wear socks and you're like, suddenly they're just fine. Like, I don't even know how that happened. Totally fine.
Yeah. My docs took years to wear in, like probably 3 years.
Yeah.
Just like hideous. But yeah, they're a good studio shoe as well, because I'm forever tripping over. So
yeah, it's always falling over. I always wear shoes that are far too flat, and then I end up with just the worst sore heels. So I started just bringing slippers on set when we're on location.
Yeah.
So many location houses are so cold. I know there's a cost of living crisis, but people just love just turning the heating off. And then these big, huge location houses, and it's freezing because they turn the heating off, and it's just like Baltic. And it's like, come on, I know you definitely get enough higher rate for the day to put the heating on for me for 8 hours of shooting. Don't be stingy.
Yeah. And I bet most of them are like big open plan as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, like open plan. A lot of them are, aren't they? Like open plan kitchen and living room. Oh, it's when they turn the underfloor off and it's just like bone cold. It's like, come on. And the amount of houses are probably like, we've probably dicked about with the buttons too much and they've come back and just the heating's been on something stupid. But I feel like because they've all got Nest, they probably see us turning it up and just turn it back down again.
Yeah, they're like, fuckers have turned it up to 35 degrees.
Yeah, just like, no, don't think so. So yeah, location slippers are the winner as well. Keep your toes covered.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do like a Croc, but like we were chatting about, I have to like edit my gibbets out. Some are not appropriate for studio wear. Some are, and then it depends which studio and who I'm working with. But yeah, my little troll is like, whenever I was on like kids shoots or had kids in for like bedding stuff in one of the studios, I'd put my Crocs on, and it's got like a little troll, like with like massive purple hair and stuff, and the kids would be like, "Oh my god, a troll!" I was like, "Please don't pull it. She's my precious lucky troll."
Come back and it's just gone because some little nifty little hands come in and pinched it.
Yeah.
I know. I definitely need some Crocs with some. Maybe I could get like. Can you get like custom Croc charms? You know, fine. Well, I am all for that.
Yeah, do it, because you definitely can. Yeah, do it. Like Nafe's got one that's like a slice of pizza, and then I've got like a potato smiley. Like they're just great. They're just great.
I'm gonna have to get on it. Getting on Etsy or wherever it is to find the good, like little, you know, like independent people that have made cool ones as well.
Yeah, do it. It's like,
definitely need like a discount code from Crocs after all this. Like if they're not hitting you up as like a sponsor, then they're missing a huge trick. Like whoever's doing marketing for Crocs.
Yeah. We all wear them. This is the thing. They might be fugly, but we all wear them.
Yeah. I think they're missing a trick because they're trying to go more like make them more cool. I mean, I love a Croc, but they used to be like everyone's like, "Oh, as if you're wearing Crocs," and now it's like a whole like a vibe, isn't it? But yeah, they're definitely not tapped into the getting people who work in studios yet. Maybe that could be the next idea.
Yeah, maybe I'll send them an email and just be like, "Look, Hans, I've got at least 50 people that wear them."
Yeah, it's time to do a shoot. Let's work together.
Yeah. My friend's got some platform ones, and I'm like, whoa, platform Crocs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're a bit too far for me because I fall over all the time. So like, I'd definitely break my neck. But just pretty cool. Yeah, just like trip over and there's just
yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, just like attached to the eye. Yeah, I love how weird studios are. Like, I was talking to Nath about it, and because he's always worked like for a telecoms company or, you know, truck driving, he's quite solitary. And then I'm like, come back with all these weird stories about, you know, kids misbehaving on set or cats escaping from a set, or, you know, and he's like, your job is just so fucking weird. Have you got any like weird stories that you can share?
Oh my god, I don't forgot any weird. Probably is weird ones, but maybe I think I've probably blocked them out from trauma, to be quite honest. So I don't know if I can think of many. I can think of one. Oh my gosh, and I'll never forget it till the day I leave this earth. It was in lockdown, and we had to do a shoot for kind of like a company that do on-site, like what they called like porta cabin type things in the middle of COVID. So there was me, photographer and art director, in this massive hangar, and it was just freezing, and we were doing these porta cabins, and they had like a bathroom in it, but obviously they'd been on site, so they weren't clean. And I'll always just remember the photographer on his hands and knees with baby wipes cleaning the portaloo in the middle of COVID. And they wouldn't let us use the bathrooms in the building because it was COVID. And I was like, please, there's just 3 of us. Like, there must be like a disabled bathroom we could use. They wouldn't let us. So we had to use like the porta cabins as well. I just remember we were freezing, and we were there for like a week. And they kept trying to, like, after we completed that job and delivered it, it was like a running joke in the agency. Every time that brand would come back with a new job, they'd be like, "Oh, Jen, one for you." I'd be like, no, I'm not going. But I was just like, the things we end up doing, like that poor photographer, it was just, I'll never forget it. But I think that's like maybe the most ridiculous thing. I mean, loads of stupid stuff happens all the time. Like, I love when you're on set, and I feel like it's like when people go to a festival, and it always used to happen when people used to go to like Download Festival, and Facebook used to be a big thing, and people would have like, there'd be like sayings that people have shouted out, or then things that you know as a group. And I feel like on set you get those things, and it's just like the running joke between the team. And it's just like the random things that end up funny between, and like an inside joke I just absolutely love, like that no one else would get and no one else would find funny. But it's just brilliant. It's one of my favorite things about being on set. Like, like I was saying, when like the vibe's just absolutely on point and you have the best day, it is just like hilarity. It's literally trying to get through the 14-hour day, just one like desperate meme moment at a time, isn't it? Just to try and get through it, just to try and power through. But I just love it when there's like just hilarious random things that come out of it, and it just ends up being a long-term joke. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's like, it's good when you have got that on set and you've got a good crew around you and stuff. And especially when you're doing long days, like I really do think like you need that, as well as your like Red Bull and some decent music. You do need a bit of camaraderie and a bit of like,
you need the good vibes, the good crafty, the good tunes. Like literally a good crew is like the make or break of a job. Like it really is. And I think once because clients do get to the point where they realise when they maybe had the same team on doing, and they're like, oh, this is the team, this is like the blueprint team. But it's like, it really does just help because you literally are like trauma bonded, I think. I think that's why it works, the trauma bond.
Yeah.
But it really is the make or break. And I think like when you have someone that's not necessarily even like a weak kind of, what is it, a weak spool in the wheel? What's the saying? A weak thingy. It just like makes it fall down because it's just like communication. Like you need to just be able to communicate with each other and not know that you're not going to take it personally. It's just like you just need to just be able to communicate and be like, that's not working. And I think as well, like because it's like it can be a highly strung kind of energy almost because we're trying to get through and battle through the time. The amount of times you say something to a photographer and they just look at you deadpan and you're like, oh God, he hates me. But if you've got that kind of relationship, you know it's fine. You just know you're just going to get it done. Like we were on set the other day this week, and we had like I think 5 minutes left before we were supposed to be out the house at 6. And then Chris, who's my friend who like shoots a load for me, I went and I was like, we need to move. You need to move into the living room. And he's like, but I'm set up in the bathroom. I was like, you need to move into the living room. And he just looked at me like he just hated me with every fibre of his soul. And he just sighed. And I just walked off. And I was like, oh God, he hates me. And then he messaged me later, like, smashed it, mate, best day. And I was just like, hey, it's fine. We're still friends, even though I thought he hated me. But it's having that communication with people that you've worked with for years, time and time again, or even on the same brief, that you just know it's not that deep. You're just all trying to get through the day, basically, and trying to get it done.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I definitely now don't take stuff personally. Like if somebody asks me to change something, great. Yeah. I'm not gonna like stand and cry and be like, oh my God, you hate my styling. Like, because at the end of the day, I'm getting paid by the client. So if you want to make as many changes as you want, cool, bring them at me. But I think also that comes with age. Like I'm in my mid-30s, so I'm kind of a lot calmer and just a bit more go with the flow than what I was in my 20s.
Yeah. I think you can't be like precious, can you? And I think it does definitely come with age, because I'm like definitely a lot more like one of my friends, Emma's always like, it is what it is. We are where we are. And I'm like, it's just what to live with. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's not worth. People are always like, oh, you're not saving lives. And it's so true. If the client is happy at the end of the day, it might not be something that is going to go on your portfolio, is going to go on your website, is like the piece of your kind of working like career. But literally, if they're like made up and it's what they want, then that's what you're there to do at the end of the day. It's you have to let go of that need to kind of think what your way is right. It's not even that really. It's just you have to kind of relinquish a bit of that creative control, because at the end of the day, you're there to like provide a job and a service, aren't you?
Yeah.
Questionable props and all, and setup choices and things. But I mean, if they're happy, then that's all you can ask for, isn't it? You've smashed it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I was on a job recently where the client was taking ages to come back, and the photographer was like, this is just a bit frustrating. And I was like, yeah, but at the end of the day, if they're taking ages to get back, let's go have a cup of tea. By the time I made a cup of tea, they'll probably come back. If they needed little tweaks, there's no point us moving on for us to then try and remember where the camera was. And, so you've got to balance it out. And I think there's some days where clients go, yeah, great. And it's a one-shot wonder.
Yeah.
So, it balances out, I think.
It does balance out, yeah, because it's like anything. It's like some things can take ages, and sometimes the things that you're going to take agents get approved instantly. And then there's always like a tricky one, like the setup's really tricky or something's just not working and the approval time, especially with like people doing approvals like offsite, if you're doing them via like WhatsApp or Teams or whatever, that's you're losing probably, you could lose up to like 10 minutes really there.
Yeah.
And you've just got to just do what you can. And it's like, if you don't get through it from literally just coming back with amends or approvals, then it's not like you're just on the go slow. It's just the nature of, you have to get things approved, don't you? They have to have them approval slots.
Yeah, that's it. And I think like sometimes as well, like we were saying earlier, it's managing clients' expectations as well. Because sometimes you can go, well, I can do this, but it's not quite what you want, but it's as close as I can get it, you know, in shot or, you know, with minimal retouch or what have you. And it's sometimes if it's a buyer that's approving stuff, sometimes they're not as creative as other people. So they see things very literally, I've found.
Yeah, 100%. So I think like with buyers, they're very like product focused. They're like, I want to see all the features. I want to know that the popper opens, that there's like an air vent under there. I want to know all these things. And then kind of anyone obviously who is more creative is more like about the aesthetics. So it is just managing that. And I mean, that's like part of my job now with me being kind of running my own production company. I'm like account director, a production manager. And it is just like managing that. And like you say, I think it's, as long as you always have a solution or an answer, and it's not just like, no, there's the context as to why there is a no, or we could try this instead. Because usually if they're not creative minded, you know, the person that you're working with, if you've got like a solution that isn't exactly what they're asking for, they're usually quite happy because they just want to know that it's been kind of received and thought of, and it's not just like, no, can't do it, there's not enough time. Because there's always time to do something, just not, you know, massive change that they're asking for.
Yeah, definitely. So do you do quite a lot of, I've seen you do quite a lot of still life. Do you do like quite a broad umbrella of production of shoots, I should say? So you do like still life, you do models, you do it pretty much everything.
Yeah. So at the minute it tends to be anything model based. When I was in agency, we did like interiors. I never really did food. Food just never really was something that I was ever really interested in. So I never really did food. But yeah, it tends to be more like beauty, anything with models, anything that kind of moves basically. Oh yeah, like still life. I love like beauty, like texture shots and things like that we tend to do. And then like still life. So it's like really varied, but it's nice. You get to, I think when things are like beauty and model focused, it's all like the pretty things, isn't it? And you know, big like set bills to try and wrangle. But I mean, I do love like interiors. It's just haven't really had those briefs, but I think a lot of those tend to be like larger production houses really that can do like the set build. Or people used to always shoot interiors abroad, but I don't really think they do now because it's probably just a pain shipping stuff. But yeah, it's a nice mix. And then like a lot of kind of like social content or campaign content or like brand refreshes, it seems to be at the minute. Just delivering like hundreds of assets, which is great. At least I'm well practiced. But it tends to be that at the minute anyway. And then some sports stuff, which is like through one of my agency clients who's like who I'm a production partner for, which is great. It's just like, I never thought when I left agency, I was like, oh, I'm never going to work with any of my friends again. I'm never going to see anyone. I'm never going to go abroad. I mean, I never went abroad in the first place anyway. I'd only ever really been to Cape Town. And that was on shoot anyway, and then on holiday. And then I've ended up being able to go to Europe and stuff, which is great. But it's just also hilarious for the girl who never went abroad is suddenly trying to book locations in Paris with like no French, I don't know French, or like trying to book places in like Italy and Naples and Rome, and I can't speak the language, but we're getting there. We're learning odd words.
Yeah. As long as you've got the most important words like your lights and stuff, like you're hiring.
Yeah, I think I learned that like I think it was when we were booking in Naples, it was like Sala Posa is photography studio, because it's like a pose room, pose studio. Someone who's Italian will tell me that that's incorrect, I bet. But with my accent as well, I've got no hope. Like I was, we were in, where were we even at? We were somewhere, and I was like getting really into like saying like thank you, and oh yeah, I said gracias instead of like grazie, and I was like gracias, and the man just looked at me. I was like, sorry, grazie. That's all I can say, grazie. I just usually am with Chris, my best friend, and he just speaks for me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm rubbish at second languages. Like my parents actually live in France, and I am so shocking at French. Like my mum was like, try at the market and try and order like the olives, and then I was like, bonjour, and then the rest of the sentence just didn't come out.
Didn't
and I was
arrive.
like, yeah.
It's hard. It's a confidence thing, isn't it? Because like some people will like try and they'll say things, and usually the person you're speaking to understands that you're trying and they like correct you and help you. But it's having that confidence, I think, which I just haven't got to like sound. I always think people are going to judge me. They're not, because they know that you're trying. You know, it's the same as if someone from France came here and they were like, we were speaking with them, you'd like help them with like maybe the lingo or the tenses of the words. But yeah, I think it's just a confidence thing, I think, for me. But I should have just listened in school, but they never really tell you how important it is, do they? French and German's the first thing people drop, because you just think, oh, just not really going to concentrate.
Yeah, that's it. Like I'm just dire at it. And my mum's fluent and my dad's getting there, but like my sister's fluent as well, and then I'm just like bonjour. Like I've come straight off, like
I'm like merci,
right,
salut.
Yeah.
And I've got like clients who are French, and they were on video call with us for shoot this week, and I was just like salut, and they're like, you're learning. I was like, that's all I can say. You can only say that. Teach me some more words. Don't have anything else. But it's just like, I just literally, when I went freelance, I thought I'd be quiet. I thought I'd have no jobs. I thought I'd never see anyone ever again. I didn't know. I was like, oh, it'll just be fine. It'll be fine. I remember working out how many days work I had to do just to like break even, like just to literally pay the rent and not be destitute when I got out of the house. I was like, okay, so if I work like 8 days, I can pay the house and not be homeless, and I can buy like some food and feed the cats. And then it's just like still shocking to me that I'm busy, but I keep saying, because I've got a lot of friends that are photographers, and like, oh, it's really quiet at the minute. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like it's easier for me because in production I can offer like the full package. Whereas if you're just a single person, you're reliant on producers like me putting you on a job or clients. Like I was like, it is a lot tricky. I was like, I do know that I have got it like a bit of an easier route for, than people if it's just like a single person doing it. So yeah, I just think it's just like a quiet time. Like usually this is like the quiet time. Like I mean, in agency we were always busy. December and January usually, but I feel like in agency again it's like similar to me. When it's all the other bits that somehow makes up a job, it's simpler. But when it's like people looking for like photographers to shoot campaigns, the weather is rubbish. No one's going to want to book a photographer to come and just shoot like outside street style or anything. So I think it'll all just come. But I know it is like a worry for people. I think it's a worry for me every day, to be honest. Like I just always think it's going to drop off a cliff, to be honest. I think imposter syndrome is going to stop.
Yeah. But, that's it. But I did the same, and I'm like, I'm about the same as you. 8 to 10 days a month is like my breadline. Is that the right word? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Like where I'm like, can pay my mortgage, can like get fuel in my car, get myself some food, whatever. And then like, so I think when it's quiet, I'm like, great, I've got like 8 days work, ace, cool.
Yeah,
I'm done. So that kind of does stop you adding too much pressure to yourself, because then I think that creates even more like worry, really.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that. I always like say to people, I mean, like I'm in production, we're very spreadsheet oriented, and a lot of creative people aren't, because they do creative things. But I think I always say to people, like, if you work out exactly what you need to do, like what your GP needs to be that month, you've got, then if you've got a busy month, you've kind of covered it off for the next 3 months. So technically you're okay. Like obviously still do work or take it off if you want to, whatever. But at least then you've kind of got an actual figure, either, like you say, like a set amount of days if you've got a set day rate, or a set amount of like GP that you need to get that month, like lesser your tax, and at least you know, don't you? It just takes that pressure off you because you can see tangibly what you've got coming in. But I know it's hard for non-spreadsheet lovers to like track to the 9th degree, but it does just help having some sort of figure so you don't run yourself into the ground. But likewise, because you can be on like the little hamster wheel and think you're not really getting anywhere, and then you look and you're like, oh God, I've done like 15 days work this month. That's amazing. You don't realize till you take like stock of it.
Yeah, I use like a third party system now, so that does all my invoices, tells me when invoices are late, tracks all my transactions and stuff and mileage and things, just because it does that for me, because I used to be a spreadsheet person, even though I used to have to phone my sister and be like, what formula do I need for this? But the system I use is quite good, because then it creates the invoices and stuff for me, and it's just a bit easier. It takes that pressure off of thinking about it. So it's one less thing I've got to think about. I've just got to type in quickly, like, oh yeah, I was here. It takes me like 10 minutes.
I think that's what it is. And like people who like set up, I think they always get like, you don't need to get like the most like fancy accounting software, but I was saying to like one of my friends who's just gone freelance, I was like, it is worth like paying for the one that's like a sensible one for you, because then it's not like too Bobby Basic that it doesn't do anything, but it does just take all of that pressure off you. It's like having an accountant, isn't it? It just takes all that pressure off you. It's just a lot easier. And then because it's just too much to manage, really, isn't it? All back and forth with it.
Yeah, like I find sometimes all of that plus managing my website, social media, can be overwhelming, as well as trying to book in work and then chase for invoices to be paid and everything else. So it's just one thing that I take off. I've still got an accountant as well, because I don't trust myself to fill out the tax forms correctly.
I couldn't do that. My accountant had to like, I remember, I've still not done mine yet because of when I like started trading, and I went for a meeting with him, and he was like, just stop stressing. I'll sort it out. Just stop stressing. And I just couldn't get he was like, you're never going to get your head around it. So just, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to sort it out. But it's just a lot easier to have someone, because I kept just thinking, he's like, what do you think is going to happen? He was like, the tax man's not just going to come and knock on your door. He was like, I have to file everything for you and I will sort it. He was like, just stop panicking. But it's because it's the unknown, isn't it? And I think, if you can automate anything or get anyone to do it for like the small fee that it is, it's just going to help you in the long run, because you just don't need to be stressing about that when you've got work to be getting and jobs to be delivering.
Yeah. And I definitely found when we were doing our mortgage and stuff, it actually helped me to put my mortgage advisor and my accountant in touch and be like, if there's anything, communicate with each other and then charge me. If you need to charge me. Because I think one of my friends, we were talking about this, and we were saying that actually, is it worth your time going to work, earning that money to then pay for them? Or would it take you actually 3 days in time to figure out what they were trying to do, when actually you could have then been working for all 3 days and paid it and done and dusted, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a good way to like work it is if whenever I like do something like that, I'm like, how much is that in days? Like, how much of my day rate is that? Oh, it's like quarter of my day. It's like half my day rate. Right. So I just need to do another half a day work, and then that's covered. And like you say, all of that stress is gone, and they will have fixed it for me in probably a couple of hours. Whereas, like you say, if you're trying to learn and Google and figure out how to do it, you're going to just, it's your time, isn't it, that you could have been spending doing 3 days work, and then you would have easily paid back that half a day that it costs to get your accountant to do something.
Yeah, exactly. And it just makes life so much easier. And also having that third party accountancy system as well. I give my accountant a login, and then at April they log in, figure it all out, because I'd like take pictures of my receipts or whatever, and then they do it all. And I'm like, cool, I don't actually have to do anything other than pay my invoice that you've sent, which I can then get my tax back off anyway. So
exactly, that's the thing. It's like, it literally goes against your tax. So if you can afford to do it in the first place, then definitely do it. But we love the accountants, even if they're always really rubbish at picking up phones sometimes, because they're just busy on computers.
I just email mine. I emailed mine the other day and she was like, I'm not really sure why you're putting me on this email chain. And I was like, me neither, but I don't really know what they're asking me for. So
Yeah, I don't understand.
Looking for a more adult who might understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, I remember when I was trying to get like my VAT registration through, and it took forever, and I just resulted to like sending my accountant just like gifts basically, and he just kept replying back like, "No sign of it yet. Sorry." He was like, "I am chasing." I'm like, "Oh no, I believe you are. It's just I've just lost all form of communications. I've just started WhatsApping you now, so we've lost all the professional edge. It's just WhatsApp gifts only."
That's good when you've got a good relationship with them like that, though. It's a good relationship.
I think it's like I interviewed the accountants, but I think it's hard because you've got to find someone that understands what you do as a job. It's because we're going to have strange expenses. You know, like I still think now when he looks at my kind of what I've paid for and what I haven't, he's going to be like, what the hell has been going on here? Because it's like location houses, models, random bits of props, things like that. And it's having someone that understands that these are all things that are part of your job and it's charged to the client or whatever it might be, or you've paid a freelancer for it. But yeah, it was just trying to find the right person that understands creative industries, really, I think. Because otherwise I think someone could get really lost with what we do.
Yeah, because it's such a niche thing. Like I put invoices through for props that I keep, like say like the odd chopping board or what have you. And then like my accountant gets it now because we've worked together for a long time. But initially it was like, why have you put a receipt in for a chopping board? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'll use this again and again and again. But like, also I'm not going to put it into my kitchen. It's like actually a prop. So once they got their head around it, they were fine. But like, it is such a niche job that there's many people that just don't get it. And I swear like HMRC have no fucking clue what my job is.
Yeah, they'll probably just think you're like a hoarder and a shopaholic. Like, why does she need like 10 chopping boards in a year? It's just really weird.
Yeah. Why?
Is she okay? Like, what is she doing? Like,
why has she bought 200 heart candles again?
Yeah, just like something just weird going on here. It's funny though, isn't it? Because if they ever did like an investigation and came around, like, can we see all the chopping boards? Like, expecting them to just be not there, and you'd be like, yeah, welcome to my room of props. Like in my basement, there's just loads of stuff. It's like, knock your boots out. There's honestly so much random stuff down there from shoots that makes no sense separately. But they must. I feel like my accountant's going to look and just be like, what on earth has been going on here? Like, really?
Yeah.
There is work cut out. There's a lot of receipts.
Yeah, I bet. Jeez. I saw your little Instagram story the other week saying like all your receipts, and I was like, I am not jealous in the slightest of those.
The worst, because everyone has a nightmare anyway. Everyone has a nightmare because it's themselves. I have a nightmare because it's myself plus like potentially 12 people on set. And it's just everyone's invoices, everyone's payments. I've been doing all right. I missed one payment for someone, but it was like fine. I sort of paid it the next day, but I was like, I've just been so on top. But yeah, it's just the recon at the end is just a nightmare, and then remembering to invoice the client. But I'm the worst. I have too many spreadsheets because I've dropped one. I had enough of it the other day. I thought I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to put my trust in the online software and the scanning of the receipts. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like the recon and like everything links to the project, and then production life.
Honestly, I don't know how you manage it. I can like barely manage my own like fuel receipts, let alone 12 other people's receipts.
It's a nightmare. And then some people don't put the receipts in. I have to ask for the receipts because it's not even to check what people spend. It's just I've got it because I don't even know what my account's going to end up asking me for at the end of, when I eventually he comes to do my interview. Because obviously I'm like a limited company, so it's all completely different. But yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just waiting for me to get then. He'd be like, yeah, you've actually made no money, so what you've been doing is you're thinking you've made no money basically. So just waiting for that to happen.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, like I think I broke even for many years before I started making money.
Yeah. I know, I think a lot of
Yeah.
people do. They always say it's like, is it like 18 months? I mean, on my billing forecast, it's great, but that's down to my own maths. So we'll just see when he gets his hands on it, what actually has happened. I'm sure it's fine. Be okay.
Yeah. He's an expert. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have told me by now. He can get on the online thing. I'm sure he would have told
Yeah.
me.
I do think like it's so helpful to have these like online tools and stuff now as well. Like it just makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
And like similar to you, if I'm getting receipts from prop shopping or what have you, I'll like write whatever I need to like on the top, like the job number, and then like keep them all together. And like I've still got some, I think, from November. I did a big job in November, and like I'd scan them all in for the clients. They had them all, and they didn't want the physical ones. And then as we were bringing stuff up to the top room from the kitchen, I was like, oh shit, I didn't really need to keep these like receipt from the prop house, you know, like from 4 months ago.
Just
like,
a bag of receipts.
Yeah.
People used to do that though, didn't they? People just, well, some people probably still do, just go to their account with a big bag of receipts and just dump it on them.
Yeah.
And they just, I keep just thinking, it can't be that bad because at least everything is scanned. I'm not the person that's literally, I mean, I physically couldn't do it because then I wouldn't know what the shit was going on and who'd spent, but I just think, surely it'll be fine. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, won't we? If come, when does he have to put them in? October. If suddenly I just vanish off the face of the earth in October, you know, my account meeting's not gone well. I'm just absconded. It's gone. Should be fine.
Jeez. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. And like you say, it's just different setting up a limited company to like myself. I'm a sole trader, so it's just different. And then I think I feel like when you're a limited company, it separates your business from like your home. So like if I got a loan out for my business, it would go against my house or something. I don't know. It gets really complex, doesn't it?
It gets complicated, and it's like how you can access your money, and I don't know. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, is it better being limited?" And I'm just like, literally just speak to your accountant, because I think it just literally just depends, and I think it depends how you need to access the money. Like you say, the safety nets of like if things are yours, if things are the businesses, then like VAT and stuff. But I think it is different. Like I think I was like going to be like a sole trader when I first started, but then I think because with doing production, it's just a bit easy. I think it's just a bit easier because it is like a biz rather than just me. I mean, I don't know how it ended up. It's just a whirlwind how I've got to this place, but it's good. Good.
It's good. It's nice to see like people coming into the freelance world and like absolutely smashing it. And it's like, it's so nice, and you've got such a nice vibe about you as well. And I think you'll go far. It's, clearly because as well, people are booking you like really quickly and, you're getting loads of business already. So I really think you'll go far with it.
Yeah, I hope so. It's that thing, isn't it? It's nice to just be able to work with like my friends, and also I just feel like really passionate about anything that's like female led or female businesses, especially in production, because there is a lot of us, we just don't get a lot of airtime. I think a lot of females that work in production, so I think it's just great to be able to have that. I know there is a lot of like female owned production companies, probably more so in like London, but it's just, I don't know, it's just nice to do a good job. And like I think a lot of big agencies get like a really bad rep sometimes, especially with freelancers, just because they're just huge and end up super corporate. And I think it's nice to just have kind of like more indie agencies, and there is a ton. I think a lot of like more indie agencies. I'll keep calling myself a micro production agency because I'm just going to just coin that one for now. Followed by a rocket emoji, probably. So yeah, we're just gonna vibe with that. But yeah, it's great. It's just I don't know. I always watch like Dragon's Den now, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's like me, like a biz on. No business plan. We're just going for it. We're just literally rolling for it.
Flying by the seat of your pants is the best way.
We do. We just wing it. I think winging it is just what we always do, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it. My dad always goes like, "Oh, are you not working at the weekend? Why are you testing and it's free and blah blah blah?" And like, he's a builder, so he's used to working like 7 days a week. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just winging it, Dad. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll get there.
Be
I'll
right.
get there eventually."
Right.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can
Yeah.
happen?
That's it.
End up with no money, but
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen? Be fine.
What's the worst? We'll have to go full time. Whatever.
Yeah, be fine. I know that's the thing because when I was going freelance, everyone, you know, like obviously when you like leave somewhere, people are like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" Da, da. And it's just like it's so important to remember, like it's not like you can never go back full time. You know, like a lot of people do down the line just because it works better for like life balance or like family balance or security. And I think that's the thing is it's like it's not like you can ever not go back. It's not like you're just completely banned forever. But
Yeah.
I think it is a lot of people are going freelance. There's like a lot of people are leaving, but I think it's just people want to try. There's certainly like enough work around, I think, for everyone and enough like opportunities. It's just I always say like to people like send like 5 emails a day when you're starting out, just 5 emails to like people or agencies just to say hiya. Because I think people get like afraid of like it's not even cold calling, but a lot of people are like, oh, we don't do cold calling emails. I'm like, all of the jobs that I've got are from literally sending emails saying hiya. And
Yeah.
it's like, hiya, I'm here, like no pressure, you know, like it's not like an estate agent, but it's just so important just to get your name out there and just even with other creatives and stuff, because there's so many photographers that self-produce, so many stylists that self-produce.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's it. My dad called it hit and hope lettering. So like he was like, just email and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm like you say, like I'm Charlotte, blah blah blah," and then just be like, "If you need anyone, just let me know." And that the same as you, that's worked wonders for me.
Yeah,
Not every time, but like quite a lot.
Yeah, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? They don't reply. Fine.
Yeah.
Nothing lost, nothing gained. You didn't have the work to begin with, so you've not lost anything, have you? And it is just like that super casual thing of like, here, if you ever need any support, would love to work with you. And I think it can just be an Instagram message, an email. But I think because, especially if a lot of people sometimes don't have like a website, and you don't need like a big like suave website, you know, or anything, or like an Instagram presence. It's just so people know that you're there, because a lot of the times you email and they're like, I wasn't thinking that I needed someone, but then now I've got your details. That's great. Actually, now I know what you could do and what you could like help me with. Because it's that whole like support piece, isn't it? It's just a lot of people end up doing it, especially in how like more so at branding house, have just muddled through by themselves, and it's always fine at the start. But then as it starts to expand, it's just too much for people to do. And I think a lot of people worry that it's going to be really expensive to get someone in, but it's that return on investment, isn't it? If you've got like an actual stylist or a photographer in, yeah, you might have like an outlay of that person's day rate and any like prep on post time. But I always think the return on investment's worth it. If you pick the right person, 100%, always worth it. But I always just say to people, just send messages. And I always try and be like, I mean, people are always like, oh, everything's always like looks so good for you and you doing this, but it's like such a small like piece, and it's just like kind of what you outwardly put on like social media and things. And I always tell people like, don't obviously take it with a pinch of salt, because there's obviously like stress going on behind and stuff like that. But I have noticed a lot of people that I've spoken to have then tried to kind of put more on LinkedIn and be more like candid and things like that, and it has really worked for them. So I think just try and like, it's so cheesy, but just like believe in just being yourself, basically, I think, and don't try and make yourself super corporate or overthink what you're doing. Like, just put stuff on Instagram that you like or whatever that shows who you are, because it's your personality at the end of the day that people book you for as well as your skills, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like, I used to post like, "Oh, I've got availability today," and it was almost like robotic on like LinkedIn. And then when I started like actually just being a bit more myself, and like I posted a proper relic of me styling like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, where I had like really short hair, and my mate had put me on like a pop art like background, and I'd like got my Kimball gun in my hand like a gun or something. And I was like, oh, I'm just bringing this relic out to tell you I've got availability or whatever. And I feel like the engagement was higher than if I was just robotic and like, I've got availability tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do think you've got to be yourself, because people know then that who you, like you say, who you are.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, I don't know, it's like you can like shoebox yourself a bit, can't you? Overthinking what your social feed looks like, because there's obviously some agencies that choose to put like 3 like polished work up, and I like prefer to just put like whatever I feel like on. But I think it is your personality, and people think, oh, she's like a laugh to be around, want to be on set with her. And like you say, when you've been on set with people and you've just had like a really good chat, or you've gone and got a brew and it's been a laugh and things like that, that's what like people remember really. And then they know you're obviously like sick at your job as well, so it's like people want to be around good people. But I think, yeah, a lot of people seem to like try now to be more like candid, I think, which is better. It works for everyone differently, doesn't it? But I think you've got to have some sort of presence. I think especially as we are all on set together, people need to know what you kind of bring personally, I think, as well. I think that is like a huge part, and some people are just like a little bit more shy to kind of show that. But yeah, like some of the people who I've known for like years who've just gone freelance like recently, like me, and have maybe just been like a bit too like shy to kind of like show themselves. I don't know. I think we can all just encourage each other, can't we, a bit more, I think, just to kind of be confident with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like it's almost like pulling on your confident cape and just being like, hiya, I'm here, blah blah blah. And like, you know, my other half said to me, it was like, every time you go into a new studio, it's like you're starting a new job all the time, because that's all you could compare it to. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd not even thought of it like that before, but obviously it is. But I'm so used to it. I'm like, you're right, blah blah blah, I'm so and so, you know. But it is hard when you're the only newbie and everybody else knows your name, but you forget 30 other people's names.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's the worst, isn't it, when you try to remember people's names on set? It really is. I think it's that thing as well. Like there's like some sort of Instagram post floating around in my memory from somewhere that I've seen, but people like just like don't be afraid to like look silly. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I don't want to post that because it looks a bit like beggy or embarrassing. It's like just post it. Like you're not posting anything obviously awful. You know, if you want to just shout about what you've done, or if you've got like availability, or I don't know, just anything you want to post, it's like just don't be afraid to like look silly, because you won't look silly, you know, if you're just being yourself.
Yeah. And people then know who you are, like when you're coming on set, like we're saying, like people then are going to assume that, say if I've posted something funny or like that LED face mask thing, like, you know, I'm not afraid to be like a bit silly, because it just loosens stuff up as well, like on set, and then everyone relaxes a little bit. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
I don't think anyone's, well, there is some serious people that work in like production. Certain roles are usually like more serious, aren't they? Like the director people are usually more serious and more, you know. But I feel like everyone's just we're all a bit weird, aren't we? I think we're all like kind of oddballs usually. To have ended up here where we are, we're all just like the oddballs, aren't we? And I think it's just like to show that, then people know you could like fit in as well with the crew and stuff like that. Because people do have like base crews that they use, but obviously they also swap people in and out for extras and things. So it's always good to know fellow weirdos.
Yeah. Like, I think you're right. I think we're all a bit weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had like a normal-ish conversation in a studio, like ever.
No, I think we're all just weird together. Maybe the job maybe we used to be normal. I don't know, or like more serious and more sensible. But
yeah,
it's not really a sensible, never really a sensible vibe on set, really, with me. I mean, we get the job done, but we're not sensible.
No, and you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh. Otherwise, you'd be crying at 14-hour days.
Yeah, 100%. Don't laugh, you'll cry. 100%. Obviously.
Oh, well, it has been such a lovely time chatting to you today. It's been really nice to get to know you.
Yeah, I just feel like I've just rabbited on about goodness knows what. If I have to everyone like 2 hours. Jesus, listen to her for 2 bloody hours.
I mean, it's normally, I feel like it's same sentiment, but normally for me. And like, I've said before on the pod, but like I told my dad I was doing a podcast. My dad was like, of course you bloody are. You don't ever shut up.
Yeah, like, I may as well utilise my skill set of talking for 2 hours straight with someone.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. Bless. But yeah, it's been absolutely lovely to get to know you and have a chat and see how far you've come already. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind. I've been wanting to do a podcast for ages. I don't really feel like, hopefully there's some use in this, whatever I've said, to someone who's listening. But yeah, it's been wicked. It's nice to just chat, and it's always like so good to meet people who are in like production and creative, because I feel like you can just find so many people on like socials and stuff, like how kind of we like found each other. And I just think it's just like invaluable, to be quite honest, because especially when we like based so close, it's like a dream for me to have someone else that I don't know.
Yeah, and same. And it's like, I feel like the community up here is way more like friendlier, and people are like, if people can't do a job, they pass it on, and like people are way more happy to recommend people up here. And I think like that's such a nice vibe, and it's something that I've definitely felt way more welcoming. Some people are welcoming down south, but it's more welcoming like up here, and like it's definitely a nice vibe that people are connecting, and hopefully like people connect through this podcast as well and go, oh yeah, I know that person, or like I know somebody who knows that person, and it's nice to connect with lots of different people.
Yeah, definitely. Yorkshire forever.
Yeah.
even though I'm a pretend Yorkshire person, but like honorary Yorkshire. But yeah,
same.
Northern.
I've only been here like honorary Northern.
That'll do. No, it's so good. But yeah, I think this podcast is like wicked as well, because it kind of gives an insight into different roles as well. So I think it's mega what you do, and like speaking to all these different people, because it really does give an insight. Because I always think as well, like when you're at school or like college, you never really learn about being a retoucher or like an editor or a stylist. And I think now it's so good with like podcast generation that people are going to know that there is these type of roles, around. I think it's wicked. You've got going on.
We'll gradually get perfected. Gradually, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. No, it's good.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, no. Anytime. Have you back for another 2-hour chat? I'll be here.
Yes, absolutely.
It's been wicked. It's been a nice break after 3 days on set, just to like speak to someone just about things rather than shoot lists and timescales. No, it's been wicked. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, follow and share, as it really helps this little podcast out. And if you have found value in the podcast and you have the means to, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes. This will help keep the podcast going. Join me next week for another fantastic guest. Bye!